Hello, hello. I've not been the best about introducing my guests on the podcast, so I'm going to take a different approach here and introduce Patrick. About 30 minutes before we recorded this podcast, I found a Magic Mike post and I was like, is this Patrick? And within 30 minutes, people had tagged him, confirmed it was him. It was he. He reached out. I said, hey, I have a podcast. And then he hopped on all within 30 minutes. And that is the beauty of social media. If you want to see more about Patrick, you can go on his Instagram. It is P Packing. I cannot wait for Las Vegas to reopen up and this lockdown to be over so I can be the first in line to buy tickets to his Magic Mike show. Thank you so much, Patrick, for joining me. Here we go. Pat Gray Matter? What does that mean?
Oh, I mean, I don't know I don't know if you know what I've been doing for the past couple of years. I haven't really talked to you since junior high. But
Okay. I'm stoked. Yeah, so I've been following Magic Mike ever since the day they started their Instagram because I was super stoked to go to the show. Vegas is my favorite city in the whole wide world.
hmm
So I've been
I
following
live
them on
here.
Instagram. You live there right now?
Yeah, I've been here. I've been here almost 3 years now.
Oh, so I've been thinking about going out there. I actually almost went out there this weekend, but I want to fly. I don't want to drive because I don't want to. I
Fly.
just don't want to drive. Yeah, but
Fly.
then
Flights are still ongoing.
they're like
Just wear
$20,
hazmat.
right? I know, but you're gonna have to post me up. I don't have a place to stay. The hotels are closed.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You're right. I mean, I room out here with one of the guys in the show. For the time being. So. Yeah,
So
I
that,
mean,
yeah, so back to that. So I'm on Instagram. I'm following Magic
okay.
Mike. They did a cute Mother's Day post yesterday, and then
I saw that.
I see today's post, and I'm like, am I crazy or is that Patrick? And then I was like kind of joking, and then people DM me. They're like, no, that's Patrick. He is in the Magic Mike show. Hell yes, I'm all for
People
it.
from
Super
people
stoked.
from where?
All from our elementary school, St. Pius.
Like who? Name names. I miss.
Sydney,
Oh
Brittany, Paige. No joke,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
They're all following you. I'm
No,
like, man, I'm not cool. I didn't know. I had no idea. And you're right. I haven't seen you since 2003. It's been
yeah.
17 years. We're old as fuck.
Holy moly.
How
No,
are
that's a
you?
long time. I'm good. I'm amazing.
You
Right
look
now,
amazing. You look
thank you.
amazing.
Shoot, yo, I saw you and I was like, I went on your IG just today and I just got flashbacks. Like I started smiling and laughing because I was just thinking about eighth grade class and we were just shooting the shit, doing stupid shit, not even paying attention. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we were the
Yeah.
smart kid. We were the smart kids that didn't have to pay attention and messed
Yeah.
around. And
Yeah.
then like did really well and the teachers kind of hated it. Like that was you and me. We were
That was high
definitely
school
like
for me too. That was high school for me too. I had my book bag, like a roller book bag. I was a nerd in high school.
So yeah, I want to hear about that because here's the thing. You were always a really good dancer. Like I remember you were doing the choreography to Rock My World by Michael Jackson, which I love that music video because it had Chris Tucker. And
Yeah.
I remember like you would do the choreo and like you were always a really good dancer. I never knew that you would take it like to a career in dancing and at that
Yeah.
like an epic career. How did you get there from being a nerd to like now stripping half naked looking? You look great, Patrick. Like, hello. This is like
Hey, what's
the
up?
revenge,
What's
the
up, mommy?
ultimate revenge bod. I know you look good. Well, you were always cute. All the girls liked you. You can't even play like you were a nerd.
But you
Like
gotta
all the girls
understand.
liked you.
You gotta understand. Back then, I was cute. I was like baby cute. I wasn't like, you know what I'm talking about. I was just more of like, oh, he's small. He's like 5'1". Like, oh man, like your little small Asian kid friend. That's me growing up, right?
No, I had
Hello?
a huge crush on you. You're crazy.
I didn't know this. I did not know this. That's funny. Oh my God. Hey, I was young. I was oblivious. I didn't know anything. So blocked
So
them. Blocked them.
how did you start dancing? Like, did you get signed up with an agency? Did you try out for a show? And then like, how did that start?
Well, I don't know if you remember my older brother. He went to St. Pius as well.
Yeah, of course I remember him.
But my obviously my older brother was a singer. He was a dancer. It wasn't like he taught me. It's just he just did it every day. So I was kind of just like I do it for fun. You go to high school, like my senior year, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of good, with this, and then I did it collegiate. I did it in college. I started competing in college. Then after that, I got my degree. I told my mom, I was like, hey, here's the degree that you wanted. It took me a while to get it. This is for you. I'm done. I want to dance professionally. And she's like, oh, why do you want to dance? Use your degree. I was like, I want to do it because I don't have that much time. I want to do it now. And she's like, all right, I'll give you 2 years. I was like, 2 years, that's all I need. So I got an agent. The first audition I did was with Block Talent Agency. I've been with them since, and but you gotta understand, hopping in the scene as an Asian guy, it's difficult. You know, you get cut at a lot of auditions. They're not really looking for an Asian guy. So I had to build that brand and kind of just like muscle it through. But this audition fell on my lap. They were having a big audition, it was like a worldwide audition, but they couldn't find an Asian guy. I was like, what? When have they ever done like an Asian specific private audition? So I get an email from my agent. It's like, hey, you gotta send this video, this self tape. They're looking for one Asian. I was like, oh, all right. Well, I don't know if I want to go to Vegas and dance in my underwear and strip. But they're like, you got to do it. You got to do it. I was like, all right, fine. Sent in a video.
I ain't got all night. What's it gonna be? You could keep it real. I ain't tripping if you decline.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But here's a funny thing. I was cutting hair professionally. I've been cutting hair for 12 years. So that was the one that was paying the bills. I wanted to do my dancing, but then I got to make some money, so I did both. My audition tape was in the barbershop, but this is like a lifestyle barbershop. It wasn't your normal barbershop. It was very very catered to like a upper scale. So it looked nice, man. The lofty type of setting. Had my girlfriend at the time record it. So freaking funny. So I'm recording this like sexy dance number. My coworker comes in because he has a client, and I'm standing there doing this freaking number with the cameras on and everything. And we look at each other, and I was like, I didn't know you're coming in today. I'm filming something. I'm done. I'll be done in like 10 minutes. And we just had this like awkward look at each other, just like, why is this guy dancing shirtless in the freaking shop right now? But if you could picture it, it's freaking hilarious.
I can only imagine. And then your girlfriend's recording. She's not sitting down like enjoying it. She's recording. It's like, what the hell's going on over here?
But I sent that in. Like a whole year after that was auditioning. It took like a year and a half to get on the show. Like almost 2 years.
Was the show already running when you joined, or were you in the like alpha class?
How do I say it? So I auditioned before the show started, but then when the show finally started, because I was still auditioning and waiting if I got it. Even like my final audition was with Channing, and it was like, okay, I think I got it, But then they started the show, and I wasn't casted, and that was like April. So then I was like, all right, well, I didn't get it, right? So I was like, all right, I'm good. I could let this go, put it behind me, and just move on. Then the same year, November, on my birthday, I get a call from my agent. I was in the Philippines, and they're like, hey, Magic Mike just called us. They want you to be part of the show. You have to, if you decide, you have to move out in 2 weeks. I was like, oh shit. I'm over here in an airport in the Philippines, like about to hop on a flight back to US, and I'm like the only one yelling in the terminal. I'm like, oh my fucking God, I just booked Magic Mike. Oh man. And then I moved out. It's so fast. I moved out to Vegas, picked up all my shit, packed it all in one car, and I was in Vegas. I learned the whole show in like a week. And then the following week I was in the show. It was so fast.
Was that your first professional dancing gig?
No, it wasn't. I've been doing professional dancing jobs, commercials. But if you're talking about the live stage ongoing show, yeah, that's my
Oh
first one.
my gosh. Meanwhile, these guys who've been touring with God knows who probably tried out, and you just blew them all out of the water. That's epic. I'm not surprised though. Like I said, you were so talented, like dancing at lunch and stuff. So I'm not surprised. And you have great charisma. And your
Thank
abs aren't
you.
terrible either. Hello.
Yeah,
So
they're not. Quarantine's not that helpful right now, but I'm getting back on track.
back to your mom. Your mom was pretty conservative. She was pretty strict. I remember that.
No, she's actually a cool mom. She's just more of like she does have that conservative background, but she's actually really cool.
How did you tell her? Did you tell her before or after the tryouts? Like, how did you say, yo, mom, this is what I'm going to be doing?
Well, I remember when the Magic Mike movie came out, and she watched it with her boyfriend at the time. She comes home and she's like, Patrick, you need to be in the next movie. I was like,
She predicted.
I was self-conscious about that. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And then when I told her about the audition, though, she was like, I freaking told you. She's watched it like almost 10 times, maybe like 6 times.
Is that weird? Like, does she tell you when she's coming, or does she just show up and tell you afterwards?
No, I tell. Well, I have to get the tickets for her, so she comes in. She's seen me do Mike, like, which is the main character role, and I do the main character role from time to time, and that's the one. I don't know if you've seen the water number. I don't know if you've seen it, but
No, I haven't been able to go because I went. Let's see, I don't go to Vegas as much as I used to. I used to go once a month, and I used to have to go to for work, but I don't go as much anymore. The show opened like 3 years ago now.
yeah, yeah. Hey, you're on it, shit.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, no, I'm not kidding when I say like I was like all about it. I was all about the Magic Mike. When they said that it was going to go live, I'm like, this is genius.
It's so good.
It's so good because you already have that fan base right there. You know, it brings a new flavor to Vegas. Like, I think it's just great. I mean, the bachelorette parties, like, it's definitely the kind of show that I would want to take my mom. So,
we love the moms. We love
right?
moms.
Yeah, and that's when Channing was doing when Channing, we just use his first name like I know him. When Mr. Tatum was on.
you call him Chan. We call him Chan. Hey, Chan's in the building. Oh, okay, cool.
When Channing Tatum, who I had a huge crush on because he was in a Mountain Dew commercial when we were in 5th grade, and like that's when I fell in love with him. But that's beside the point. When he came on,
he's still a good-looking guy.
No, but that's when I fell in love with him when he was in the Mountain Dew commercial, and he's like, I forgot my dew. And I guarantee these Channing fans don't know, the Fannings don't know. Is that a real thing? I just made that up. They don't know about that Mountain Dew commercial, okay? So I used to tell my family, shut up, the Mountain Dew commercial's on. And this is before you can pause TVs, okay? I'm like, the Mountain Dew, because he'd be like, I forgot my dew. Oh, I loved it. Anyway. When he came on the Ellen show to promote the show, he actually said that. He's like, this isn't your typical, what makes it different than a Vegas show? He said it, like, we want the moms. We want everybody, all ages, all shapes, all sizes. And that's what they kind of said, you know, when you talk about diversity on the stage, and in your Instagram says token Filipino. I found that hilarious.
Yeah, the only one.
To value diversity. Are you the only Asian or the only Filipino?
I'm the first and only Filipino, I think. Well, obviously in Vegas, but they opened London. I actually helped a friend of mine get on the London one to kind of represent Asians because he's like this Indonesian guy. Good friend of mine. Helped him get on the show, and then they're opening up Australia. Berlin doesn't have an Asian guy, and I think Australia has an Asian guy. So we're coming up, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I don't know if you probably don't know this about me, but because of my background, growing up, you know, in a Korean neighborhood, going to a mostly Asian school, that's actually one of my passion points. And so you probably don't know this about me, but I actually do Asian marketing. So like that's one of my niches.
Really? Hell yeah.
I do multicultural marketing, but a big chunk of it, like most of my energy, I would say, goes into like Asian specific marketing. And a qualm that I have, and I've had for years growing up around, you know, Asian people in general, but just working in that space is the lack of representation. And so what we've seen over the last 5 years, like, excites me.
Oh
The
man.
fact that we see big rich Asians, you see Parasite
Yeah.
taking the
Yeah.
Oscar at the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like that, do you know how excited I was when Parasite won?
Oh.
And because I feel integrated in the Asian community in so many ways. And so, like, seeing more and more representation, I'm like, this is what we need. We need more influencers. Like, we got to break through what Harvard calls the bamboo ceiling. So, which is like another layer above the glass ceiling. It's like you got the glass ceiling and then you got that bamboo ceiling of like, why don't we have more representation? 12% of our population in the United States is Asian. And yet when we look at TV, music, pop culture, entertainment, it's the same. I mean, God, how long was Lucy Liu getting casted in every Asian role for the last 20 years? I mean, it's just, so in the last 5 years, between like Crazy Rich Asians or Fresh Off the Boat, it really is a passion point of mine. And so I'm glad that we actually could touch upon that, because you and I connected like 20 minutes ago and hopped on a call. I couldn't pull that out of my ass.
No, you can't. It's kind of just like taking the gun and just putting it out there. You're kind of just putting it out into the universe, and it just manifested.
No, it's so epic. So I like to hear that. And from what I could see, Magic Mike seems to be a lot more inclusive of a show, both in the audience standpoint and the actual demographic of the performers. Yeah. How has your life changed since you started this show?
Holy crap. It has exponentially changed, man. I mean, obviously not right now because we're in this whole coronavirus economic shutdown type of thing, but when it was going and we were on it, I never thought I'd live a life like that. It was so fun. You meet so many people internationally, and because Vegas is like the international hub, and you just get to meet people, like hang out like with like, I don't know, billionaires, millionaires, and kind of just having conversations, having drinks, and just understanding that there's more out there than what you thought you could imagine.
So especially in Vegas.
It just kind of opened up my eyes and see there's like more potential and more possibilities.
Do you have, I mean, not anytime tomorrow, of course, because I would love to see you stay on that show as long as possible, right? But do you have like any type of aspirations beyond, this type of live performance? Like, would you want to go on tour if Magic Mike started touring, or if Katy Perry needs a great dancer? Or is there another way that you anticipate in the not so distant future elevating your career, or just taking a total pivot and going back to like hair and art?
I've always wanted to dance on stage with an artist. I've always wanted to do a Super Bowl. But it's kind of like you got to want to. I would still take it, honestly, if the opportunity presents itself. I was supposed to do the Latin billboards, but obviously they got postponed. But that would have been my first award show, So hell yeah, I would take it. Hell yeah, I would want to do it. You kind of have to count your blessings and still kind of strive for it.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And the Latin Billboard Awards, I don't know if I was going to go. That was in Vegas, right? I can't keep up with the event.
Yeah, no, it was in Vegas.
I I mean it when I say Vegas is my favorite city in the whole wide world, and I have traveled. There's just something about it. Like, do you have joy? Yeah, you can do it, to your point where you're saying you're like rubbing elbows with billionaires. Like, you really could do anything you wanted.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I'm serious.
You want to ride a tiger while driving a Ferrari, going 100 miles an hour. Like, you can do that. Yeah. Everything has a price.
What surprised me was these celebrities who I've always put on a pedestal, like before this job. I've actually had the chance to kind of, get to know some of them for, like maybe in one night we have like rubbing elbows, having drinks and just hanging out, and it's just like normal, like it's like normal, so they're not at a pedestal to me anymore. It's more just like, hey, they're in town, maybe grab a drink or something, you know what I mean? Or just like Sam Smith came to the show one time and he had a blast at the show. We were all like lap dancing him, and it was so fun. he was like, "Hey, you guys gotta come out with us. Let's go grab some drinks. We'll go to the club." I was like, "Hey, let's go. Let's roll through." So I never thought I'd kind of just, have have those experiences become normal. That's what's fun about it.
Damn, Sam
You
Smith,
know,
I'm sure, like, again, being in events, being backstage at shows and so forth, like, I've had the opportunity to meet, a handful of celebrities myself. And usually it's in a relaxed environment where they're just kind of chilling before they perform,
yeah,
or they're chilling,
yeah,
but
yeah.
like while they wait for their friend to perform. And I have to say, like, it is really cool.
Hmm.
I cannot cool around celebrities unless I'm a fan.
Exactly.
So, like,
Even when I'm a
that's
fan,
where it
I'm
gets
like,
weird.
oh my
I
God,
can't.
they're what? But here's the thing, though. They're actually coming to watch us,
You,
and
yeah.
and that's even the crazier thing. I'm like, holy crap, Cara Delevingne's in the audience watching us. Like, what the heck? When did this ever happen? Yeah, that's some crazy stuff.
Do they tell you before the show? Like, that's what I was getting at about you, like your mom. Like, if you know someone's in the audience, does that affect your performance? Because I feel like it would mine. I mean, I've never really performed on a stage, but I feel like
Oh,
it would.
we get so amped up. If anything, we take like a scoop of pre-workout, and we're just like, man, we're like flying through this number like easy.
I know
Yeah.
what pre-workout is code for in Vegas, Patrick.
No, I'm talking about legit pre-workout.
Hey
we
girls, let's take our pre-workout before we hit the club till 6 a.m. Yeah, that pre-workout in the bathroom. Mm-hmm.
no, we have drug tests.
Would you mind, are you able to share like the celebrity, like the biggest one where you were like really, really geeked out, where you were just like, oh shit, so Obama is in the audience?
I think it was Cara Delevingne. LMI too. LMI was in the audience.
Speaking of, so I go by Ella now. Did that throw you off?
No, it kind of makes sense. Did you change the full name, or is it just?
I was gonna say,
it's the
okay, so
nickname?
that's my question that I've been asking people, and no one will do it. So let's see if you have the balls. Do you remember my name?
Michaela.
Oh my gosh! So I go by Michaela at work. But yeah, so that's why I was wondering, like, I didn't know if you were gonna recognize who I was when I DM'd you.
Here's the thing about me. I remember faces really, really well. Even during the shows, when someone like maybe like they haven't been to the show in a year and they go, "Hey, I went to your show," like most of the time I remember. If you tell me where you sat and what experience we had during the show, I'm like, got it. I know exactly. I remember exactly. And I remember where you were sitting, and I remember what seat. I remember what you were facing. It's crazy like that. I could pinpoint it.
Sadie and
I
I
remember.
actually, yeah, we talked about that because she has a really good memory. I have a painfully good memory. I always say it's a curse because, kind of like what you said, I'm really good at faces. That's how I spotted your face in this video, and I was like, I think this is Patrick. Like, I'm really good at faces, but the problem is it gets awkward when you're out and about. Like, if I run into you and I'm like, oh my God, Patrick Packing, here's what I remember about you. And I just like regurgitate all this information. And meanwhile, you don't remember me at all. Now you're filing a restraining order because you're like, who the hell is this stalker girl that like remembers
Well,
that I love Michael Jackson? That's what I usually experience. Is I feel like people, I'm sitting here spouting off all this information to prove to them that I knew them at one point in their
hmm
life, and they're
hmm
just like, don't know who you are.
well, the ones who don't know who you are kind of either assholes, or they're sincerely like, hey, I don't remember. It's been a while. 17 years. That's kind of hard to remember. No, but they might have bad memory.
That sucks for them.
They're not like us. We have good memories. Like, I remember it. It brought me back. I'm telling you. I saw your face and I was like, holy shit! I remember back in school, man. 7th grade, 8th grade.
Oh, I'm so glad we connected. It's super cool that we hopped on a call like an hour ago. Hadn't thought of you in a minute.
Yeah.
Also, I just like to note that I do find it so perfect that your last name is Packing.
You know what? It's funny, and I said this too when I first started. I was like, man, my name actually has purpose. Cause growing up, I would get made fun of my last name.
No,
you know that? I would get.
I mean, I didn't make fun of it. I can tell you right now, I was mature enough in 8th grade to go, Packing is a good thing. That's why you and I always sat together because our last names are PA.
Yeah. I remember. But I'm telling you, like, teachers would be like, "Hey, Mr. Packing," And it's just like they had a jokingly way of saying it at the time. So now when I'm doing the show, I'm like, okay, because it's like when we do the bows, when they introduce all the dancers, they have like a, yo, this is Jackson, the Lord of London Williams. He's from London, so he calls himself the Lord of London. So he has like those like quotations, right? And mine, I was like thinking like, damn, what would be a good one for me, right? Everyone has theirs locked in. I'm new here. What do I do? So then I came up with Patrick, quote, what is he, quote, packing? So they be saying that at every bow, like, Patrick, what is he packing? And it was like, yeah, that was my name.
I'm so glad we got to do this.
Connect me with some of the people like from Pius, because I forget their Instagrams. I don't know. Just tell them to add me.
I will. And also on that note, since we got Sadie to sign up, we got you to sign up. I really want to get Sydney to sign up. Sydney. Okay, I'm gonna cut this out, so I'll tell you. She works for.
What?
And yeah,
Oh
yeah. And I'm like, look, I know she can't talk about that. Like, she can't say who
Mhm.
she works for, whatever. But I'm like, why don't you talk about how you got into entertainment law? Because that's a very specialized.
Specific.
I have a couple. I have one friend, another friend who's in that industry, and then another one who's like more of a mutual friend. But that's a crazy, like, it's like law meets celebrity. It's cool. It's really cool because you get to see all the money involved in contracts. You get to see a lot. So I wanted to come on. Yeah, right. You get to see the writers, like what they want in their dressing room.
Well, here's the thing. When I was doing Magic Mike, I got my license for my life and health producer license. So I help people out. Just this is like, because you know me, I'm just like, if I'm doing one thing, I can do another thing like on the side. So I just help families out with retirement, living benefits, and life coverage. So I do that as well.
I love that.
And hair cutting.
And cutting hair. You always looked fly. You were way too cool. Well, thank you so much for hopping on. I know we both have a call in 10 minutes, and I got to make my cocktail before my next call.
Do it.
Your voice is amazing. I'm so happy to hear from you. Tell your brother. What was your brother's name again? I'm so sorry.
You talking about my older brother?
Your older. You had a younger brother too? A baby brother?
I have a bunch of brothers. I'll tell them.
Tell them all. Tell them all. Micaela says hi. Don't say Ella. They won't know who that is. Maybe just show me a picture. I'd like to think I look a little bit different than back then. Also, okay, Patrick. I'd like to think that I am just so much better looking that no one would recognize me.
We've all blossomed. I'm gonna tell you that. We've all leveled up. It's like that glow up. We reached a glow up, so don't worry.
Oh, I love it. Well, thank you again, and it was cool connecting. And we'll stay in touch, and I'll connect you with some of the Pius people that I know.
Awesome, sounds good.
All right. Was this pretty painless? You survived?
I survived. It was amazing.
You're the best. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. I'm gonna hang up. Okay.
All right, I'll see you.
Bye.
Okay, bye. Hey, thanks for checking this shit show out. If you have an idea you'd like to be featured here, my email is ellaurbellapodcast@gmail.com. Thank you.